Well, hello everyone. My name is Brendan, and with me is what?
Jonathan.
Jonathan. There it is. Hey, uh,
There we go. I guess I'm introducing.
no, that's good. Jonathan and I we're designers at OOMM Board Games up in Canada. How are you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing well. My paranoia always takes
Jonathan.
the cake.
I'm doing.
Perfect. And audio's coming through. Hey, welcome here. If you're joining us, we'd love to hear from you. Jonathan and I, we're just, we're talking the other day, and we figured it'd be good to share what's going on. We have some like, big news, I guess, just some good stuff that's happening. I feel like this is a busy time for us in a good way. And so, if you have any questions about the
We have
oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah, we have a lot going on right now. Yeah, it's pretty amazing actually thinking of how much we have going on now compared to how things were just a couple years ago when everything first started.
Yeah, no kidding. Even just like a year ago, I think we had it's kind of just after we had finished wrapping up with the Acarios campaign, and it's kind of like the lull after that, and then kind of getting into a bunch of stuff. So yeah, it's cool. Jonathan, what should we talk about first? I think we should talk about these boxes that we have.
Yeah, we have some pretty cool boxes that just came in. The nice Battle Bears board game. We finally got our own copies in. You can see they're still saran wrapped here.
Very exciting.
So this very excited to be getting this in because this was a very fun project to be working on. Just getting Battle Bears to this point and being able to see the vision of it finally come out. And really building on what you'd originally designed for Last One Standing to make the rule set for Battle Bears here.
Yeah, Jonathan, I'm always a little bit shocked that my name is on this box because I feel that I didn't contribute a whole lot to Battle Bears, but you kind of took the bones of Last One Standing, and then you gutted everything else in the best way and actually put something together. And I think Battle Bears is great. So I think we're gonna do a little bit of an unboxing, hey?
Yeah, let's do some unboxing here.
Oh boy, this is always so
So this
fun.
is both of us seeing our own personal copies for the first time.
Incredible. What did we see before this? We saw a production proof of the game. That was CJ Frost in the comments. Yeah, boxes. CJ, I don't know if you picked one up, but hey, if you're interested, oomgames.com, you can find Battle Bears for order, and it's shipping. Is it shipping already, Jonathan?
It's shipping. Yeah, it's shipping. It's out for order right now. Yeah, it's actually just getting into Amazon as well, so a little bit of a delay getting it there, but it'll be available on Amazon pretty soon too. And we have a few stores that have shown interest in getting it here too.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
really starting to take off.
Okay, it's got that smell. It's got that new box from China
I
smell.
love that new box smell.
Okay, let's just take a look first of the little promo insert of our current game collection. We got No Escape, No Escape Salvation. There we may be talking about a different expansion a little bit later today. Battle Bears, obviously, Adventure Capitalist, Last One Standing, second edition, and then on the back we have
And then this interesting little game on the back
yeah.
that we haven't spent very much time on at
No,
all.
not very much time, and this box is actually probably about half the actual size of the box. Well, we we, we we
Yeah.
we can chat that more later. Okay, boom. Enough of ad inserts. Ray Sebring, that one's for you. You love those ad inserts. Here we go. What's next?
We got the Battle Bears
Yeah,
comic,
this is freaking
which is
sweet.
actually it's really exciting to see this one because one of the big things with this, not only does it take you through the introductory storyline for what's even happening for the game, but it then actually takes you through how to play the game, but in comic form. Really, really easy to understand. Takes you through all the major steps, and you can literally read the comic and actually understand the majority of what's needed to play the game.
Do you see this?
So this is something that we were
Incredible.
really excited. Yes, gotta love the huggable chest bursters
Oh
there.
my goodness. Yeah, this is a really neat thing.
So this
Tell
this
us
is
tell us about our artist on Battle Bears, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, so the artist on Battle Bears, all the artwork was done by a gentleman named Dan Wang, who is a absolutely wonderful artist.
Yeah.
So he did all the comic artwork. He did the rulebook artwork. He did the artwork on literally everything you're going to see in here. Really, really well done. So happy with the results of what he came out with. Um, and honestly, he's just a great person to work with in this regard too.
Yeah, Dan's fantastic. And Battle Bears, if you don't know, is based off of original IP by Ben oh shoot,
Who?
Ben Vu. Um
Ben Vu.
and so for you I never played, but it was like one of the first kind of shooters on like iPhone, Android kind of mobile game system, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, it was one of the first actual battle royale style games before there was really a term for battle royale style games.
Yeah. So it's cool. So incredible. Like the production of this, I don't know, it's great. I think we need to do more of these comic books.
Yeah, I really think so because this came out looking so good. It's such a nice centerpiece as well for the game.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, next up, classic. We have the rule book. Um, you know what? It's This game is pretty easy to learn. There are 10 pages of rules, but they're not thick pages. They're generous with images. Jonathan did a good job on the
Yeah,
rule book here, and our graphic designer Dan, right? A different Dan.
Dan. Yeah,
Okay.
uh, Dan did really good with the layout, and it is very, very picture heavy to make sure that everything is explained visually as well as with text to make sure it's as easy to understand as possible. And even with all that, it's not that many pages. So really, really quick to learn the rule book for
Yeah,
this.
it's good. Okay, what's next in here?
So next we have the player mats. So each player is going to get their own mat. There's 6 possible players for this game, and each player has their own unique special abilities.
Yeah.
Yep, over on this side. And their own unique movement track here. And on top of that, when you die, it has the bonus of you turning into a cute little
It's
huggable.
my favorite, and
Um,
yeah, you get to poop rainbows as the huggable,
yes.
which is well maybe whatever. But okay, Jonathan, who's your favorite character? Mine's Will Popsicle Head.
My favorite character, honestly, is Riggs. He's just kind of big and beefy, and he's just able to keep moving. He doesn't move fast, but he never moves slow.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, that is Riggs. That's Riggs. Okay. Uh, Next we have how many punch boards? One, two, three, four, five punch boards. These are the land tiles. Neat thing
yeah,
about kind of the last one standing mechanics, Battle Bears mechanics, is that the setup is different every time you play, and that's due to the hexagonal tiles. Pretty straightforward.
hmm
And we have what huggable tokens on there as well, I guess.
huggable tokens. There's the skull tokens for different game
Mm,
modes. The heart tokens for health, and the weight tokens, which is the Baron backpack for tracking how much you're carrying.
So you know what? I just assumed that we didn't even talk about the game. Battle Bears, or did we? I don't really know. Battle Bears, it's a battle royale board game. You went up to six people. I guess six people total. Duke it out on
Yeah.
an island, shooting each other. You're wanting to be the last bear left alive. If you die in Battle Bears, you come back as a huggable, bent on revenge and trying to get rid of all the bears. So it's fun, even if you find yourself going out. I think that's it in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
And
Hey,
one of the big unique factors about this is even though it's a battle royale style game, it doesn't specifically have player elimination.
yeah,
Because when you die, you're not out of the game. You're never out of the game in this one. Essentially, you just join the opposite side, which is the endless swarm of huggables that are coming in and just trying to hug you to death.
yeah, no, exactly. Okay, so we're getting to one of my favorite parts, and I'm going to reveal several parts because this game has a pretty sweet insert. Uh, it's oh wow, that's really bold, Jonathan. Nothing's tipping out there, but it's got a sweet insert for all the punch outs. Oh, there it
Oh,
goes. All the punch outs in the middle, and then we'll take a look at all the miniatures, which are great. And then we have two slots for cards. I don't know. We got a spot for a die up there. It's I don't know. It's a pretty sweet sweet thing that our I think our manufacturer made this one up, right? Long Pack.
yes, Long Pack Games made this one up. We went through probably about 3 or 4 different revisions on the insert before we finally got it just right to be able to hold everything just the way we wanted it with all the inlays in it just how we wanted. So it was actually quite a nice process to be able to go through and get everything done up this way.
Yeah, that's good.
And the result is just awesome when you open it
Oh,
up.
it's great. It screams production, which is fantastic. All right, Jonathan, what do you want to talk about next?
Well, we got
Miniatures.
these nice little miniatures themselves.
Oh yeah, and they're colored, which is great. If there's painters out there, they can easily just prime it and paint it themselves. But we did base colors,
Yeah.
just I think for quick. It just looks nicer on a table. It looks more like a toy, which is how it should look, right?
Yeah, it was done up as the colors so that if you just want to pull it out of the box and just start playing with it, it matches properly with your player mats. So there's very little confusion in that regard. However, you want to take it further, you want to color them, it's all set up properly for you to be able to do that already. So it's really easy whichever way you want to do it. For the people that like being able to just pull it out and start playing right away, it's already good for that. For people who like to go a little further and actually paint their minis, then it's also really good to be able to paint your minis as well. And I might end up painting these guys at some point here too.
Yeah, it's cool. So like each of the miniatures, so this is Astoria here, they get a corresponding huggable miniature in the same color. Looks really slick, and then they have their own unique little spot to hang out in the tray.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then the last set is all the loot cards. Oh, is there a specific name for these cards, Jonathan? It's been so long since I've played.
These are the gas
Gas
cards in
cards.
this
Okay.
one.
Basically, it's all the different oh shoot, I'm trying to find my favorite weapon. There's like pie bombs, which are pretty cool. The easy cheese to heal yourself
Which is your
up.
healing, yeah.
Okay, here's my favorite cheeky humor. It's called the urine trouble. Urine trouble gun. It's my fave.
Yeah, that one was hilarious to get done up.
Who are
And
these
just
are these
all the little jokes.
yeah, are they based on original concepts that Ben had?
Yeah, all of the cards, actually, all of the items are based on original concepts that Benvu came up with. So what I actually did when I was going through this is I spent hours on his wiki
Mm,
page going through all the items that have been in any of the previous versions of the games that he's brought out, and just tried to match up what would be the most appropriate for each character to possibly find, with various different things that are in the world he's created.
yeah, no, that's fantastic. So, Jonathan, who, what type of gamer or gamer group or family or whatever it is, who do you think would enjoy a game? Who would enjoy Battle Bears?
Well, a big thing about the game is it's very, very light-hearted and fun, but very, very quick as well. So this is the kind of game where it plays very quickly. Everyone's involved all the way to the end. And even though it is things involving you shooting each other, it's all kind of silly and wacky weapons. And so it just kind of removes it a little bit from the violent aspect for it because it adds in the more cute and cuddly aspect. Because of that, it's really quite wide open for audience. This is something that I think would appeal to a lot of families, but also for a lot of the hardcore gamers as well that just want something to play quick at the beginning of the night, or they have a little bit of time left at the end of the night they just want to finish off the night with. So I think it really has quite a wide appeal because of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you're interested, Battle Bears available right now for order. OOMgames.com, OOMM games.com. You can find it there. We got a couple other things that we want to talk about. Maybe I jump into some Macario stuff now. Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Let's get into some
Yeah,
Macarios.
so this is a, let me actually, I forgot to have this prep, but it's right behind me because my office is a mess. We are in the kind of final stages of development of Acarios, which is very exciting. And oh my goodness, so this is the actual box, the 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 white sample box, which every time I lift it, it's like so heavy. Um, there is gonna be a heap of content, and actually, so this is the little secret. It's a little bit taller than what is actually shown here, which I am trying to wrap my mind around, and I can't quite do it. Um, for those of you who don't know, Stars of Acarios, it is a epic sci-fi cooperative adventure for 1 to 4 players. A lot of kind of dungeon crawly space battles. Just throw in a healthy dose of like world exploration, seventh continent style, and rooted in a very strong narrative. So that's kind of the scope of the game, and kind of on top of that, there's a lot of like fun miniatures that come with the box itself. So you get like these super cool like sci-fi ships. So if you're into like unique sci-fi, this is where it's at. And then you just get some epic stuff too. Like what like crazy. These things are massive. Who in the right mind would make a game like this? I don't know.
Well, I think you have to be out of your mind to be able to make a game like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, touche. One of my favorite ships here. This is the Sparrow. This is the kind of the one of the core of the story. As you travel across the Acarios galaxy, you and your crew, you're on board the Sparrow, and you're discovering different regions in space. It's yeah, so big epic adventure, and it's exciting because we're in this stage of getting all these production things. It's something that Battle Bears was in. I don't even know. Was that like 6 months ago? Uh, Getting kind of production copies and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
About 6 months ago, getting all the initial production copies back and going back and forth on all the minor edits.
yeah, and so it's it's a relief to kind of finish. the development side, but then there's, that's not where the work ends. There's a lot of kind of back and forth, making sure that all the edits are caught, right? So like even this is our game board that's printed on a neoprene mat, which is an add-on, which like looks awesome, but we found that the sky itself was just too blue. It wasn't like capturing, you know, kind of like a sky or the sorry like the like space scene ship, black, right? And so we went back and we're like, hey, here's some new files, and it's just a much darker background. And so that's kind of the stage we're in now, and a lot of bug squashing in the campaign, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that the game will be delivered by October. I think. Well, that's assuming no production delays or shipping delays, which who knows? Maybe that Suez Canal thing happens up again. Although our ships or our games weren't ever in there. I don't think they were they, Jonathan?
No, no, but it just backed everything else up too because there were so many ships that couldn't go anywhere, that they just stayed in port and it backed up everything because of that. So even if another Suez Canal issue happens, it will still affect us because it affects global shipping at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's domino effects everywhere, and
Yeah,
shipping's in a weird state right now. There's a lot of delays.
it yeah, shipping is incredibly difficult to arrange and lot more expensive than it used to be
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, and the post-COVID world, we'll see what changes are permanent, what changes kind of revert back to normal. But hey, it is what it is. We're gonna keep on making games. We're gonna keep on making miniatures, and hopefully hopefully everything works out.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting, the stage that you're at right now with Icarios, where you get to see the samples coming in and look through them. It's the stage I was at with Battle Bears several months ago, as you mentioned. And it's very interesting being working separate at the moment because of that. Because when I was going through Battle Bears, you often had a lot of questions about the quality of different things and see if I could give you better pictures of things. You could give any feedback on stuff too. And now it's kind of the opposite side where everything's at your side. And if I have deeper questions or need better looks at things, it's like needing to ask you to get these pictures and things taken. So it's very interesting working remotely in that
Mhm.
regard. When we have samples come in for the different projects we're working on and still trying to be able to give feedback on everything at the moment.
Yeah, it's not like we're in an office or anything, right? We live in the same, well, some of us actually, yeah, some of us live in the same town. We're about split for Games, living in Kelowna and living outside of Kelowna, and so yeah, we have to make do with what we have, and it's cool, and that's kind of what I think what leads us a great segue where we kind of are layering projects, and that's intentionally, and one of the next projects, which I know is a TBD as far as release date, but it's almost finished. Jonathan, do you want to speak to that at all? This new expansion that might be coming up?
Yeah, so the next expansion that's coming up for No Escape. So that one,
And
the
and,
files
and
are
just
being
and just
worked.
wait a
Oh,
second. For those at home who do not know what No Escape is, lay it on us.
okay, so No Escape. Actually, I've got a copy right here. It's a tile laying maze building game where the whole concept of the game is you're trying to escape the space station that's about to explode. Unfortunately, there's only one escape pod left. And of course, you want it to be you that gets on that escape pod. So you're laying tiles to extend the map, but you're laying them in front of where the other players are to make their paths that they're going on longer, while you're trying to find the shortest path yourself. So it's a bit of a reversal on a lot of tile laying games where you're not actually laying down tiles to help yourself, but you're laying down tiles to hinder the other players. So we have one expansion out for it already, the Salvation expansion. And the Salvation expansion contains 4 micro expansions. It contains the co-op game mode, where all the players are working together to try and save the station. It contains the rescue game mode, where it actually turns the entire game into a set collection game. So you're trying to go in and rescue scientists and save the research that they've been working on, so that you can try and piece together all the different work after the station is gone. There's also the Aliens expansion that can be played in any game mode, where aliens have invaded the station and they're trying to capture you. And you have to not only try and escape the station, but you're trying to stay away from the aliens as well. And then there's the Androids expansion, which allows you to rescue androids and then send them off on missions to help you try and escape. So that's the expansion that's already out.
No Escape Salvation.
The one that's No Escape Salvation, yeah. So the one that's just being, all the files are being finalized right now is No Escape Redemption. It also contains 4 micro expansions within it. So the first micro expansion, the one that a lot of people have been the most interested in, is the Saboteur game mode. In the Saboteur game mode, there's 3 roles that you can take on. You're either the Saboteur, who sabotaged the station, an engineer who's trying to save the station, and a civilian who's just trying to survive and find a way to make it off the station. And you take on one of these roles, and you're trying to play towards your role while hiding what you actually are from everyone else.
Cool.
There's also the last off game mode, where it actually becomes almost a game of Snake, where you're trailing a path behind you and you're trying to be the last one on the station without ever crossing your own path. But there's limits on what you're able to do. And if you ever accidentally make it off the station, you're just out of the game until the last person is on the station.
Man, that's gotta be a long game mode.
That one's a little bit longer of a game mode, but it's complicated by the fact that you can't loop around on yourself.
Gotcha.
So you're always trying to find ways to extend your own path in this case, but not loop around on yourself, and hopefully make it that nobody else manages to loop you around as well. So you're both playing on others and on yourself for this game mode.
Cool.
The third part is the equipment expansion. So in the base game, everyone has a jetpack, and they're able to use their jetpack to give themselves a bonus to movement, pass other players, different things like that. Well, in this expansion, you're now able to switch out your jetpack and have other pieces of equipment. Like maybe you'll have a scanner that allows you to find a better way out, which is then switching tiles on the board. Maybe you'll have the ability to mind control the other players for a turn and get control of their dice rolls. So all sorts of different little things that just give you different little bonuses throughout the game.
Yeah, sweet.
And then the final expansion in it is the damage expansion, where there's continuing damage happening to the game board throughout it. And you can actually cause damage to the station, and the more damage you cause, the more it spreads. But you can also find ways to repair this damage as well. So it gives you chances to switch out tiles a lot more, to slow down players, all sorts of different things that are happening on the board because of it.
Yeah, that's great. So if people want to kind of follow along with the development of No Escape and Redemption, or just kind of learn more, where would they go?
So we're doing posts onto the No Escape Kickstarter or No Escape Facebook.
Cool.
We're going to be updating everyone that followed the original No Escape Kickstarter pretty soon here too. And we're also updating everyone on our mailing list.
Yeah, so that's great. So if you want to join our mailing list, go to oomgames.com. Otherwise, you can follow along facebook.com, probably slash, I don't know if there's the pages, and just search No Escape. You'll be able to find it there.
Yeah, No Escape Game.
No Escape game.
Will be the
Yeah, great.
No Escape was already taken, so
Yeah, you gotta love how that is. You gotta love how that is. Yeah. Oh no, that's great. Um, cool. And yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think kind of jumping forward, so that's kind of one of the things Jonathan's working on right now, and he might be able to share a little bit more about some other stuff that he's coming on. The next kind of project that we're kind of I'm going to shift my attention to in these next couple of months, and we have another developer, Nathan, a part of our team who's been digging away, is a game called Mythwind, and Mythwind is a cooperative persistent game. I'm still finding the language and how to describe it because a game like it doesn't really exist in the board game world, because it is in essence a open-ended game that takes inspiration from properties like Animal Crossing, where you build up a community over multiple play sessions. And so, in essence, players will take on a unique role. You know, one person might be a builder or a farmer or a crafter, and you will contribute to your community in Mythwind in this kind of magical area, and your community will actually grow session to session to session. You know, when I originally pitched it to our boss, he was like, "Oh, it's kind of like the bonsai tree of board games, right? You take out your bonsai tree and you tend it, and then you put it away for a bit." And that's kind of how I envision Mythman will be played by some people, where you take it out and quick setup, because we're going to have these sweet tray systems, and then you put it away, and you take it out, you play it a little bit, you put it away. And so when people ask me, "Oh, how long does it take to play a game?" It's like, well, it's however long you want, right? Each of the turns in the game are taking place over a day, and then there's seasons. But the story will progress, and stuff will happen. And so it's cool. And this whole world, we it's not a miniature game, but we're toying around with some kind of fun toy concepts. And Jonathan actually printed out one of our sprites. This is him,
Mhm.
him or her, not too sure. Right here, and this is one of the Forest Sprites, magical creatures that inhabit Mythwind Valley, and we're not 100% sure how that's going to come into play, but it's cool. We're really excited about Mythwind. There's already like a pretty vibrant community around it. We have lots of artwork from Dan Wang again. He's spearheading the art direction for the game, and so if you're interested about Mythwind, Facebook.com, or just search Mythwind into Facebook, and you can join our group there, or you can see the page, or follow along with But yeah, so that's kind of the kind of next big project there. And then Jonathan, what's what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the snails, epic snails, or
Let's talk about Epic Snails, sure.
yeah,
So Epic Snails, it's a project that I'm working on with Lance, who is the owner of the company and both of our boss. And it's a miniature-based combat game using snails. And there's already a video game out for it called Epic Snails. And the whole idea is you take on the role of one of these combat snails.
it's fun.
And you'll be able to fight off either other snails or the big bad guys, which we don't have very much done up for them yet. We don't have any 3D models yet. But essentially, you're fighting the spiders.
Yeah.
And so it's a backyard combat game of snails versus spiders. And you'll be able to do one-on-one teams, different variations like that. So it's just a fun, lighthearted little game that we're working on for that.
Sweet.
It's just really fun to be working on.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Um, yeah, it's awesome. I love the miniatures, right? It's cool. Not many times you see these snails with big bazookas on top of them, so that's definitely
Yeah.
a fun thing to to have. And interested to kind of see where that goes. Well, hey, Jonathan, is there anything else you want to talk about? I know we're always working on other stuff, but I don't know if you want to share that now or maybe hold off until a different session. I'll leave that one for you.
Um, yeah, why don't I share it
Yeah.
now? So the big thing actually with one of the big projects that I'm actually working on right now is actually something that is integrating into multiple other projects that I'm working on. And the reason is that it's actually going to be something that's a lot more technology
Mm,
based than a lot of other things that we've been working on. So I myself am a big tabletop war gamer. You might notice from up here some of the stuff that I have. And there's one of the big things that I found with any sort of tabletop war game is there's a huge learning curve with it.
yeah.
It takes you quite a while to figure out the rules. You have to figure out what every single one of your units can do. There ends up becoming confusion between what your units can do versus what your opponent's units can do. So the biggest barrier for a lot of people is actually the learning curve involved
Mm,
in getting into any tabletop war game, and especially once they know a tabletop war game, getting into a new tabletop war game. Um, so a lot of the games that we're starting, or that I'm starting to work on right now, especially, are lighter end tabletop war games with some bigger tabletop war games planned several years down the road. But to help with all of that, we wanted to find a way to be able to help players to pick up the game really quickly, easily, learn what's needed, know all the important information right off the bat, and just be able to get into playing as quickly as possible. And so, while all the games that are being worked on are being developed in such a way that they do not need any sort of technology integration at all to play them. We're actually developing a software that we're calling ARM that will be able to integrate with all of these games and essentially take the learning curve way down. And it'll be able to give you information about the units that you're playing with, the units your opponents are playing with, what can be done with keep track of different little information like that. And so it's an ongoing project to really try and help bring all of these things together in a way that it's just a ongoing helper for the games that you want to play.
yeah. So the idea, like ARM, augmented reality. What's the M stand for?
Miniatures.
Miniatures, augmented reality miniatures, right? So like an idea is like, hey, you take a unit and say we got like the Stars of Icarios tabletop war game, and it's on there. I could take my phone and I just look at my unit, and then all of its stats and abilities just kind of pop up, and it's like, oh, I don't have to thumb through a 200-page manual. I just bloop, it's right there, right? And I can see everything I want to do instantly, right? That's kind of like a picture of it.
Yeah, that's a very good picture of it. And one of the things that we have plans for integrating in the future with it as well. Tabletop war games have no way to be able to play remotely with each other,
Mm,
really. And so one of our hopes is to find a way in the future eventually to be able to set up and play tabletop war games remotely with each other using your own physical units.
And
Um,
and, and maybe
that's
yeah, and I'll add remotely, but also maybe against an AI component,
yes,
right?
against an AI component eventually as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like that, you can scan the battlefield with an iPad or something, and it shows you where the enemies want to move themselves. Like that would be incredibly valuable because there's so many people who sit around with like thousands of dollars of Warhammer or whatever stuff, right? And it's like, okay,
And they have nothing they can do with
yeah,
it if they can't meet up with anyone. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. No, they the
So,
I
and I mean,
yeah.
even for myself, like I don't even know how much Warhammer 40K and Infinity and all these different games that I have, and it's like I haven't been able to play them with anyone in over a year
Hmm.
myself. But I mean, if there was something like this out when the pandemic started, then I'd be able to set up a game and play against an AI and use all my models that I have still, and just be able to play through a full game, and that would just keep up my joy of playing miniature games even more.
Yeah, I think there's a massive potential there, which is cool, and it's cool that that you're pursuing that, and that we're pursuing it as OOMM, right? With Project Arm, really neat. I that it's still like on the it's not on the DL, but people can't really find information about it because it's still in the research incubation phase. Hey.
Yeah, we're still reaching out to all the various different companies that we'll need to bring into this because we actually already have someone on for the AR side of things who will be able to program that. We believe we have the right people to be able to make the core programming in that, but there's also the object recognition side of things, which is going to be a huge part of the program. And so we're actually talking to several different companies right now who specialize in object recognition programming to be able to find the right fit for what we want to be able to do.
Mm, yeah, I know it's good. It's a big project with big potential, but big amount of work.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very big amount of work.
yeah, no, that's great. Well, hey, it was good to hear about that, and I'm excited to hear about it more. Anything else, Jonathan, that you wanna talk about or share?
Yeah, sure. One of the other big projects that I'm working on, which does integrate as well with Project Arm, is Higher Ground. The whole idea of Higher Ground is it's again a tabletop war game, but it is focused more on multiple layers of combat, and so you'll actually be using player boards or map boards, I mean, to set out your map. But you're setting out multiple layers of your map board, and you actually have to worry about the height that your units are fighting on. You have to worry about whether or not units can even cross gaps in between. And the big thing about it is it's all centered around the idea of floating battleships.
Cool.
So if the technology was developed in 100 years to be able to turn a battleship into a fairly slow-moving floating hovercraft that can cross most terrain, how would that change the entire face of the battlefield? And so that's one of the big things that the entire game is exploring.
Yeah.
And we have we have some people that are writing an entire storyline for it, and there's a comic that's going to be developed for it, and all these different things to go along with the entire storyline of how Higher Ground even comes to be.
Yeah, yeah, really exciting, and it's cool. And hey, if you're following along, you'll get to hear more about all these projects, right? Higher Ground, Epic Snails, Mythwind, Akarios, and so it's great. Well, um, Jonathan, I think that about does it for our time. Um, and it was great. And maybe we make this, a monthly or bi-monthly, who knows, a little sit down once in a while, right?
Yeah, I definitely think we should be doing this more. We don't sit down and tell everyone what's going on enough. So let's do this more. And please, everyone, let us know if you'd like to see more of these. Let us know if there's any particular topics you'd like us to go into. If there's any other things that you'd like to see us doing, please let us know, and we'll develop the content around what you'd like to see.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, well, thanks everyone, and thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Take care.